Hey, how you guys doing? This is producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to Cartoons and Cereal, y'all. Episode 8. This is where we look back at our favorite or not so favorite Saturday morning cartoons to see if they held up over time. Tonight, y'all, it's the Fantastic Four from 1978. Uh, we'll get into it later. On the line tonight is Brother Beavis, man. What's happening?
Hey, what's up?
Yes,
Terrible three.
terrible
Terrible
three. Yeah,
three to
yeah,
convene to discuss the Fantastic Four.
yeah, we're just missing Herbie. Also on the line, it's Big Hutch. What's happening, man?
There's a reason why you're missing Herbie, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah. Okay. So before we get too far into it, okay. So this show came out in 1978. We'll get the Wikipedia facts. I remember it being on in a vague sense, only because Johnny Storm wasn't there. That's what I think I remember most about it. But the second most thing, Hutch, is probably that even though we were like, "Oh, this sucks," we still wanted to watch it. But this shit was preempted crazily, correct?
If I watched 2 or 3 episodes, I watched 1,000. There was always something or
Yeah.
something.
With it not being on. Brother
Right.
Beaver should really figure the same thing that it got preempted.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, I mean, well, there was no reliability of like, there was no like set your clock by it because it was just like, oh, it's actually on. So
Yeah.
yeah, there for whatever, and I don't even remember what stuff would get preempted for. They would just randomly shuffle stuff around. But yeah, you'd see something and you would show up the next week and no
Wouldn't be
dice,
there.
and but
Yeah.
right when you give up, it'd be on again,
Yeah.
or you'd get a call and you'd wake up and somebody'd be standing on the earth because you missed the episode or something like that.
uh,
Galactus?
yeah, no, that's a long old story. We'll tell it later. We should watch that actually. Yeah, Doc
Yeah, we
Tari, I
should.
think. Yeah, Doc Tari, I think might have been a show. Jack Hanna,
Mm.
might have been some preempting there and taking this off. You really have to wonder, is like, because this was aired on NBC for us, which would have been what, channel 22, and like it just must not have been hitting ratings wise. That would be my guess. And so they would just like, put these freaking alligators and shit on here as opposed to this minus Johnny Storm and the
I
Fantastic.
can't believe like ratings was an issue. I don't think anyone cared, and I think they just like randomly put stuff together. And if they
Yeah,
couldn't
So,
find it, like if it wasn't on hand, they'd be like, "Oh, screw it, just
yeah.
put Jack Hanna."
somebody cared because they took the Human Torch out of here.
Well, we're
So,
gonna get to that. Yeah, we're gonna get to
right.
that in a second. We're gonna dispel a myth here coming up that's been discussed about between ourselves and I think all over when there's
I
people that
think
are old
it
enough to see this cartoon. So, all right. But before that, y'all, we always talk a little bit about cereal. It's if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to check this out. No graphs, y'all. Um, so we're gonna talk about cereal logos tonight or cereal mascots a little bit. So back in the day, I think the mascot meant a little bit of something about the cereals that you ate because you thought maybe that mascot was cool and or you thought that mascot was stupid, so you didn't mess with that particular cereal. So I have quite a few of them listed on here. So the question is, did it matter when you
MAGA,
were
not
younger?
MAGA.
Yeah. Oh, Lucky Charms, that nigga MAGA as fuck. No, okay. Um, no, not MAGA, not MAGA. Did the cereal mascot matter then versus now to like what you would do? Like I will see those commercials to this day of Lucky Charm and and we'll sing the little tune and put on my fake Irish accent or whatever and we'll buy Lucky Charms. But additionally, man, I couldn't stand that Trix Rabbit back in the 80s. And I hate that dude now too. So I would never with a box of Tricks. So Hutch, does the mascot matter?
Lord, I can't even believe I'm saying this stuff. Yes, the mascot mattered. It
Okay.
still matters.
Right. Okay. Brother Beavis, the mascot
I,
matter?
yeah, I would say so because there's like the one example square in the middle here, Tony the Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Always thought Tony the Tiger was cool. You could say he was great, but
Well done.
Frosted Flakes are trash, and I think that's a hot take on this line. But Frosted Flakes
Yeah.
are absolute garbage.
Oh. Uh,
So That's where
They
I think
are.
like, but that by the same token, like I would be drawn to them because Tony the Tiger was pretty sweet. But
Like you
his cereal is
remember,
god awful. Yeah.
yeah, you remember the mascots. They're like, oh, I used to eat this. Let me put
Right.
this in my mouth, much like monster cereals.
And similarly, like Captain Crunch, like he was pretty cool. Cereal, like say goodbye to the inside of your mouth. You know, Snap Crackle Pop, they were okay, but like you had
Oh,
to have a 1-to-1 ratio between sugar and the cereal to
yeah.
get that down. Dig'em kind of sucked, and his cereal was average.
Mm,
Toucan was whatever, and his cereal was average. Yeah,
mm.
Lucky Charms, that was always good.
That's the monster from We Want Honeycombs from
Yeah,
the
the frick
90s
with the
there.
honeycomb. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say he looks like a
we
modern.
all know who these are. I know who they are, and
Okay.
that's well, but they're 50 years in my brain, except for Mr. Honeycomb over here.
Well, okay, but hold up. I never messed with, and still to this day, you couldn't force a box of Snack, Crackle, and Pop like a regular Rice Krispie down my throat without a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
Like there's not
you
a
would
chance.
you would have to put like a glacier of sugar on top of it,
Right.
and literally, and then like get whatever you could get, or it all started to sink,
At
and
the
then have to
bottom,
go
yeah.
way down in the bottom,
Right.
get you a
Scratch up
spoonful
your
of sugar.
scratch up your spoon.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I never
I don't know
messed
why
with,
they made healthy cereal, because it was just an invitation to put stuff in it that was not healthy. Like it's like you can either put the cereal on or I'm going to put the cereal on, and it's
Yeah.
more responsible if you do it.
I
So,
just
Right.
bought a box of frosted Rice Krispies because I would never eat a regular Rice Krispie. What about that Buzz the Bee, man? Like I remember when they introduced him, and I was like, "This is stupid. Why are they making Honey Nut Cheerios? Regular Cheerios suck." But I certainly have a box of the Honey Nut in my house right now.
I can't remember the last time I finished a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, but I've definitely had them in the house recently. They usually like get some initial action and then sit for a long time, and then like,
Yes.
oh, forgot to close this up, and now there's
Yeah.
one Cheerio left in the box.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
You could put an airtight seal on a thing of cereal now after you open it, and in 3 days that shit is bad.
yeah. They do kind of stick together after a while. That's
They-
one of the biggest battles in my house is that my children don't know how to open a box of cereal or the bag inside.
Yeah,
there.
what is up with that?
They just rip it all to be
Right.
damn like it's a bag of potato chips. I'm like, no, you need to cut a little thing here,
Yeah.
like just a little
Oh.
bit, because you let all
Like-
that, you letting all my good air inside that.
That's
cereal
like that
box.
arthroscopic surgery or
Yeah.
endoscopic surgery to get the cereal out of the bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they be messing up, man.
I
It's-
open
Why-
a box, be
why-
like,
why
"Well,
can't
did
they
you
put a-
chew it open? What
why
happened?"
can't they put a seal on it?
yeah, you would think this technology would have gotten to that.
Well, we know why, because
Yes.
you'll go and buy another box. They don't give
Mhm.
after you buy, you don't give a rat's ass after the first. And the boxes are so small now too.
Yeah.
You do eat a whole thing in one fucking sitting now.
Yeah, Dick'em Smacks, that's terrible cereal. I know when we was kids, that was like, oh, get some honey smacks or sugar smacks as they were when we was kids.
Yeah.
That's a terrible fucking
Sugar
cereal.
smacks.
Yeah, it was,
That was some
terrible.
branding.
Yeah, it was some terrible ass cereal. Yeah, that's not there. And I didn't put him up here because he was the coolest person but Sugar Bear was like the coolest cereal mascot, man. I love Sugar Bear. Like I don't remember really eating the cereal all that much, but I just remember him being like very cool in his commercials.
Yeah.
What was that? And what was that? That's not Sugar Smack. What was Sugar Bear?
I was going to say, I can't remember what
But yeah, I
cereal he
remember the
sold.
bag.
Something crisp, wasn't it?
Oh, Sugar Crisp. Yeah, I think it might have been
Sugar
Sugar Crisp.
Is
That's
that Honey
terrible.
Crisp now?
Or-
I don't
they
think it
got-
exists.
I don't know if they do it anymore. But,
I ain't seen Sugar Bear in a minute, but yeah,
yeah,
I think
he might be considered a pimp or something.
Sugar Crisp.
well, he
Mm.
only was wearing a top and no bottoms walking around the
was-
streets.
But
so-
that was essentially Dig'em Smacks. It was the same
Yeah,
cereal, right?
it was
Yeah.
the same cereal, correct. Now, I do have a box of great Tony the Tiger cereal in my house right now. It does not taste the same as it used to, which is I think we could say that probably
Oh
almost
my
all of
God.
these, but because they made they made the brand or the whatever the cereal is all small now. It's like this. They used to be like the size of your tongue.
The boxes have shrunk down to. It's like play food.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I don't know. I think it still does matter. Like I think if you get a cool enough cereal, like with a logo and a character, like people will buy it. Like, I never got into like some, Mr. T or anything like that. The bad branding. But like I think these
Kids.
regular cartoon cereal box heroes kind of tie right into the actual, the cartoons that you were watching while you
Now,
were eating.
the coolest or whatever cereal of all time would used to be Wheaties.
Mhm.
And I couldn't even think of Wheaties to save my chucking life.
Yeah, never. I don't think I've ever had a box of Wheaties or
I
a
think
bowl of cereal.
I think at the old house we still had the 1974 fucking Cincinnati Reds still in the fucking cabinet.
It still may
It's
be in that
it's
house.
the bad part of Raisin Bran.
Yeah, without the raisin.
It's worse than Raisin Bran.
If you believe there's a good part of Raisin Bran, that is.
Hey, hold up. What we won't be doing is slandering Raisin Bran on this
What those
podcast, sir.
gnarly old somebody's toes got chewed off and rolled in sugar, thrown in
wait a minute.
some
Post Raisin Bran, Kellogg's Raisin Bran is better than Post Raisin Bran.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't mess with Post. But also I'd be lying if I tell you like I'm gonna get some Raisin Bran, because I need to,
that's
get
doctor recommended.
Yeah, get the gears going here. Like I just buy extra raisins. So they be but like 7 raisins in a bowl.
Yeah, you
like,
buy extra raisins.
Yeah, buy extra raisins and put them in there and then eat it. Because I need the raisins for other reasons too. So that's what I'm saying. You need extra raisins. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they could have made a I don't think they
Corn Pops was the other one I was trying to think of. Those were
But Corn Pops didn't have a person.
They didn't have a mascot.
You don't need it because Corn Pops is
just a
awesome.
weird bowl of sweet something.
Corn Pops didn't need it. They didn't have because they were awesome. They don't need it at all. They don't need a logo. So all right. This was just a delay talking about the Fantastic Four, y'all, to be fair. So as we transition into this freaking cartoon, let's get into the Wikipedia facts that are never wrong. Absolutely not. Originally aired January 18th, 1978 on NBC, a total of 13 episodes in one season, written by Stan Lee, and then most well-known for the Human Torch not being on the show. Okay, so if you listen to any of our other stuff over time, we have run Johnny Storm for a variety of reasons, and it will come up again here in a second. But 1978 us, pretty sure maybe The Thing, but it's probably Johnny Storm. The Human Torch is our favorite Fantastic Four character. So to make a cartoon without the favorite or the best character really makes no sense, Brother Beavis.
Yeah, I mean, and I was trying to I think I remember this version more. I must have seen it had been on replay, like the 67, 68, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like just seeing this was like, where's Johnny? This is not where I don't understand. So like I think this has always stuck in my mind more so than any other series. But you're right, it's just so glaring. It's like the team is called Fantastic Four, and you took one of the characters out and replaced it with Herbie.
Herbie.
Like I don't understand. Like I just don't get it. I mean, they weren't going to put like Crystal in, they weren't going to pull off any of the modern day replacements, put the She-Hulk or the Crystal in,
right?
Anything like that, or Frankie,
something,
so,
anything.
But Herbie is just, I don't know.
It's
not
just
good,
corny and very NBC Hanna-Barbera Hotch. No Fantastic Four. Were you a Thing guy or Johnny Storm?
I went down the list. So yes, I probably started off with the Thing, and he always got beat up by the Hulk. And then I went to I might have liked Mr. Fantastic there for a minute. Hey, he's stretchy. I had a Stretch Armstrong.
Right.
Sure. And then then I went to the Human Torch was in there,
Yeah. It was so glaring that he wasn't on it. And I mean, at this point in time for me, I'm like, yo, that was my dude, from reading the early versions of comic books at the time. And then he's just not on it. And then everybody's like, oh, okay, and we'll talk about it in a second. Like, oh, he's not on it because, people were afraid that they were going to turn him. Kids were going to set themselves on fire. It's become like, an old wives' tale or
I swear to goodness, I heard that back in the day.
okay,
I
and
know I ain't.
I do believe I heard it back in the day too, but I I think what we're doing is we're conflating that episode or that issue of the Fantastic Four where a kid did set himself on fire to be like Johnny Storm. And now I think there's a massive years difference in between that because I do believe that's on Burns' run, no pun intended, and and I think that's what we're conflating because as we get into this or whatever, the Wikipedia facts is going to tell you that that's not the case, and we'll come back to it in a second.
I don't
But
believe Wikipedia.
well, I'm just saying it's not just Wikipedia. So okay, so all right. So the new Fantastic Four, it was the second cartoon. Brother Beavis alluded to the first one, the 67, 68, Marvel had a few of those types of cartoons, in the Spider-Man era. I think the Hulk had one as well. So the Fantastic Four, so that's the first one. Then you have the new Fantastic Four. Then you have the Fantastic Four, which I would call the Marvel Fleer Ultra Card version, in 1994. And then you get the Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. I believe that was on Nickelodeon, or maybe Cartoon Network or whatever. It was kind of an anime manga version, and that lasted for one season, 27 episodes. Now, okay, so we talked about this 13 episodes of 1978. You couldn't damn well tell me that new Fantastic Four, because I was like, or not new, the World's Greatest Hero. I was like, oh yeah, 27 episodes? Really? There's no way I saw 5. Brother Beavis,
I
you
saw
would have
5 minutes of the first one, and I was like, no, check please,
No, that's
because
not
they
it.
were already thin ice for the, as we'll call it, the Fleer trading cards series with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't great. Hutch, do you remember which one of these do you remember the most?
I try to forget all of them, I think. You know what? Of all of them, I think it's the one in the 90s.
So yeah, the Marvel Fleer Ultra Card one. Okay, that one is not great for sure.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great for sure. But it does at least stick to the comic books, kinda, sorta. Whereas World's Greatest Heroes, or that was just a bunch of made up shit, like out of the air. I mean, just awfulness. And then the 67 one is probably most close to the comic book because they were literally written at the time that was going on. But it's just friggin', the animation and everything is just so poor. So you just can't really with it too much. So yeah, but the Fantastic Four from the 90s one, it's not that bad. The animation got better. And remember, that was Marvel like really trying, because remember, there was the Hulk cartoon, there was this one, there was a janky Iron Man one as well. Like, I mean, they were really trying to use their animated properties, but they really just all kind of suck.
All of them suck.
Yeah.
I mean, balls all the way in. Suck.
Terrible. Okay, so I need to ask this question then. 4 cartoons, 4 movies. So I have to ask myself, do the Fantastic Four just suck?
It's entirely possible.
Wait, I'm about to go. Oh yeah, do your bit,
Well,
I'm clean up hitting.
There's no bit, to be fair. 4 movies that are all bad. You can maybe squint hard.
Ain't it? It's 5 movies, ain't it?
No, it's 4. It's only 4.
It's 2 of the one got a sequel. One never got released. One got a sequel, and one,
and then
everybody lost their careers.
And then Michael, and then Michael B. Jordan, and then Black Human Torch. So
well, there's one coming out though, supposedly.
Well, allegedly, but it ain't out yet. Right. So none of them are good. You might be able to squint hard enough, and maybe one of those Jessica Alba movies. You could maybe, I mean, if you're really feeling generous, you could maybe count Silver Surfer as good, but you're really pushing it.
Woof.
Maybe.
Silver Surfer one Oh,
Yeah, and there's no redeeming quality about the freaking Michael B. Jordan one. There's nothing that's
we
redeeming
fucking
about it.
actually watched that dumb
We
shit.
did. We
Oh
live
my
watched it, and it was
lord!
awful. Awful.
Oh my lord!
In the
I
super
can't get
early
the
days of
2 hours
Brothers Comics.
back.
Exactly. So again, do they
Okay, yeah,
suck?
come on, let's pitch it.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Do
All
they
right.
suck?
Yeah, wait a minute. So the question is, do the Fantastic Four just suck as a whole? Everything, comics and everything.
Yes.
As a comic, no. The Fantastic Four up until Thanos had the three best all round Marvel villains:
Mm.
Galactus, Doctor Doom,
Gonna air shot your
and
boy here.
what's that other blankety blank?
Blastar.
No,
Terrax. Terrax is
Crack.
his boy.
No,
Terrax is his boy too.
no.
Blastar was his boy. Nihilus?
I look right. I mean, the Watcher. He's not a villain, but they had the best. They had the best. They had the top three best S tier villains. I'm trying to remember the third one all of a sudden. But wait a minute. But yes. So yes, and them three villains are get around. I mean, Galactus is in everything. Doctor Doom is in everything. And damn, I had another one. I had this written down. Namor.
Well, that's for smashing, but yes.
Right. So them three dudes, they get around. They are Marvel villain elite. And if it weren't for Thanos in these movies, and then Infinity Gauntlet, sure, in the comic, yeah, those would be the top three. I mean, Magneto's in there somewhere, but yes, them three. So yes, because of them three, they don't suck completely.
So the translation from media then is definitely not great. And I would say, and Brother Beavis and I read one of the relaunches for the Fantastic Four on one of the versions of this comic book review shows that we've had, and that shit sucked. So my thought is, and hear me out here. My thought is, Fantastic Four translation onto the big screen is very much like Superman on the big screen at this point in time. There's something too corny about the characters, the uniforms, something that when that shit gets put up on them big old boards, there's something that happens that it just does not translate at all. Brother Beavis, go ahead.
No, I think that's fair. They if you think about the X-Men, Spider-Man, the reason they're popular is because they're either outcasts or, they represent kind of some downtrodden aspect of society. The Avengers wasn't popular until the MCU came out. The Fantastic Four are regarded as this like classic, Marvel story, but I have just never really gotten into them. I agree that all the translations are not great, but I'll say like their role in the Secret Wars. I mean, Johnny's Johnny, like Johnny just like getting tail the entire time.
Yes.
But like Reed in particular gets a push in Secret Wars, like almost like Doctor Strange in the Infinity Saga from the MCU, right? So like I think it feels like in some of the collected stories, they've been a lot better. And I'd also say like in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the episode with Sue Storm and the Skrull, and they give her a monster push. She like everyone's fighting the Skrulls, and she finally comes out of her coma and basically annihilates everybody. So I think they're undone in some ways because they're unquestionably most powerful characters. Sue Storm was marginalized like every other female character during their heyday. By the time they were alongside modern stories, they weren't cool in the way that the other cool stories were. And even though John Byrne, his run is regarded as, a great era, it's really just him getting that's him getting all his revenge and anger on Chris Claremont out, and in a lot of cases telling the same stories over that he wanted to sell with
Yeah,
a
that's
different
right.
lineup, just like he did with like the West Coast Avengers. So
Mm.
they're
Mm.
not awful. They have their place, but they're not top tier, I would say.
Hush is chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
All right, so in my whatever, the thing that fucks them up, and it fucks up almost every comic book, is having two characters that are married.
Mm.
Mm.
And you put people when you put the matrimony into the shit and marriage into the shit, the comic books get fucked up. There's too much drama, too much extra dumb shit. I need you to smash and bash people, not worry about, does he still love me? Is he cheating with another superhero?
Yeah, because it's
I mean,
fake drama.
Yes.
all that dumb shit. Like I said, it fucked up Spider-Man. It fucked up, Phoenix and Cyclops. She had to fucking destroy, or they had to be a fake Jean Grey for that shit to walk. Storm and Black Panther, they fucked that. It's all, that shit fucks up everything.
Them and their dynamic too, comic book wise, at least. I guess in the movies too, but not as to the extent or whatever. Is that they're so opposite? They're so opposite that it makes it even the more tension that comes in between them. Like I remember when we did Civil War, the original Civil War. I think they were on opposite sides of
Yeah,
this particular thing.
that
Like I mean,
broke them
how
up.
does that? Yeah, how does that freaking work? And like I think that doesn't help. I think the idea that they are Marvel's first family and they've been given this royalty role puts a little bit of pressure on them in a modern sense. Much like I said, like Superman, it's just like, well, like the characters may be iconic and recognizable, but when you dig down into them, we got a smart dude, a rock dude, a dude that's on fire, and a girl that can be invisible. Hi, The Incredibles did a better movie than this.
Yeah, I would count
And
the Incredibles as movie number 5, but
yeah, I mean,
There's
sure,
two of them.
honestly,
and they
but yeah,
did it better.
yeah, and they did it 1,000 times better. And to be fair, I think Marvel's been trying to play catch up with that since it happened with the Fantastic Four. And so, yeah, there's another movie coming. They're supposedly in this next phase with the X-Men and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But they've been telling us that for a minute. They still haven't casted this movie. It's supposed to come out next year. That ain't happening, obviously. And so,
And I'm not buying advance tickets to see it either.
well, and I think again, the trying to thread that needle in between them being cool and corny is so freaking tiny. And that's why these movies couldn't figure it out. And Kevin Feige, God bless him or whatever, good luck trying to do it. Hush, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And you screwed up the two. Well, now all the three villains have been in it.
Yeah.
That I just talked about. And the
Yeah.
coolest of that bunch is Namor.
Namor probably got the best comic book movie push, that's for sure.
Right, but Galactus being a cloud.
Yeah. Doom,
Dr.
right?
Doom being
that
vaguely
Dr.
European,
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
That Doctor Doom. Old boy is great and everything else he's been in, but his Doctor Doom was awful.
Doom riding a Silver Surfer's
He's
surfboard.
Liberian,
Yeah.
like
He's done that in the comics. I think.
Yeah, but we didn't need to see it in that movie.
Yeah,
it came off stupid corny. Arachnoid. All right. Yeah. It begs the question because nobody else has gotten 4 cartoons and 4 movies outside of Spider-Man. So they obviously believe in the property. 4 cartoons.
Or if you count West Coast, was Earth
They had
Mighty Heroes.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
The weird one with Hank Pym as the leader.
Yeah, that one. But again,
Force Works.
No,
it was effectively the Force Works team, yeah, but it wasn't called
Force
that.
Works, yeah.
And then, or no, that was actually the Iron Man show became Force Works.
Mm-hmm.
This was they all just had special armor, like even Wonder Man had armor.
Yeah, it was
Um,
weird.
Earth's Mightiest, and then Avengers.
Yeah, but yeah, if we're counting them Disney Junior shows, man.
It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
If you're counting the movie that never got released as a movie, then we're
Right.
counting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, you want to be? We're being very whatever here.
Super
But
specific here.
The
Yeah, all right.
X-Men had
Mercurial.
They get 4 cartoons, or they had
They
like a
got
60s
4 cartoons
cartoon.
with Phoenix.
They got a
and that,
60s
or
cartoon.
Wolverine and X-Men.
Wolverine, the X-Men,
that. What was the
high
janky
school
one?
one,
Yeah, the high
Evolution.
school one.
Evolution.
Wolverine, and the
Evolution,
X-Men.
yeah.
And then, well, whatever this one is coming. So I don't know. They suck. I'm being nice. Fantastic
Well, I
Four
would say
kinda
also
sucks.
Fantastic Four, I think, would benefit from being primarily an animated property because Negative Zone, Space, Aliens, Mole Man, like their stuff just begs to be animated.
Right.
And also the other, well, they're kind of S. They're not S tier, but the scrolls are everywhere too.
Yeah.
I threw them in there too.
Yeah.
So
That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, we got Skrulls, and they were like, yeah, no acknowledgement of the Fantastic Four. So anyway.
right. It's
All right. So why Herbie, y'all? We brought this up from before that, like, oh, okay, there's no Johnny Storm. People are gonna set themselves on fire. The popular belief was that NBC did that and took him out of that, but the internet tells us that he was taken out because that Marvel didn't own the rights to the character, so they took him out of the show. That's what the factual Wikipedia information is. Like, so the name Human Torch couldn't be, because remember the Human Torch has that weird history with the MCU where he was the android character or whatever for a while before, Johnny Storm became that. What was that? What group was that?
Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch from the Invaders.
Yeah, the Invaders. So that they didn't necessarily have the rights to the character because they were going to do something else with it. And so, all right, we got to have 4 people. This is
what I had also heard too. Like there was the other rumor was that it was too expensive to get the animation done for him.
Okay.
Which,
I mean, it probably all goes hand in hand.
But I heard that story about some kid set himself on fire.
Yeah,
I know. I swear to goodness,
you can Wikipedia look that up, but I'm fairly certain that we're conflating that comic book.
No, it was a rumor, and I think there was a comic book. But yeah, there was. I was looking for it. There was a rumor.
And I had that comic
debunked.
book where
that kid sets himself on fire.
Yeah, he had a fan who set himself on fire.
Yeah, a little kid.
Yeah, right. I had that episode or book.
So Herbie's created by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby. It's at his last work from Marvel. And then he gets introduced in the comic books in 209 when John Byrne was doing it and Mark Wolfman. So there's his first appearance again. If you're on YouTube, again,
dumb.
Yeah, it's just a robot character. And if you think about the time, this is 78. This is post Star Wars. There's R2D2. There's Buck Rogers with the biggie dude. There's Daggett, the fucking dog on Battlestar Galactica. Like it just makes sense that you throw in some goofy robot looking character that
Vincent from the black hole. Don't forget.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We tried
black hole shit.
We tried. Don't start, sir. And so you know what I'm saying? Like it just makes sense that they would do this. We're gonna sell a hell of a lot of Herbie plushies. He's going to be the most popular character out there. We're going to make, all of these things. I'm sure that was said in a meeting in a very high building somewhere in New York City before they made this cartoon. It's guaranteed that they thought they could make like a character that all the kids would love and they could sell some toys because it's really a toy-like character.
I'm going to say, there has something to do with the Moms Against Human Torches. Or whatever. I'm gonna stick with that answer till I get tired. Yeah.
Well done. So yeah, that's why we got Herbie. Again, if you believe Wikipedia, that's
so he can go locate Galactus.
My sensors, like he has magic sensors in this series. My sensors are
Let's get to our voice actors, y'all.
Did you read what Thing wrote? It says a cartoon creep. But yes, sir.
Yeah,
but okay.
Yeah, let's get to the voice actors. So we got Jenny Tyler. She was on one of the other shows that we've seen as Sue Storm, Mike Road as Reed Richards, Ted Cassidy. That's Lurch or whatever from the Addams Family.
Hmm.
That was the Ben Grimm, then the Thing or whatever. So those are your main
Good
characters.
call.
But Mister Keep cashing them checks. Keep cashing them checks, y'all. He's around. Don't forget. Yes, man, it's Frank Welker as Herbie.
You cannot make a cartoon without Frank Welker.
We cannot make a podcast without Frank Welker, apparently, because he's on every single one of these.
Casey Kasem move.
Yeah, I mean,
was
cow.
he in Kid Video?
He was.
He was. Yeah.
He was a Kid Video. No graph, but he was definitely in it.
He plays
was
Jan on
the-
Space Ghost.
Safe
Is
to
what
breathe the
the
Frank
internet's
Welker.
telling me.
Okay. Nice. Oh, the lady from before. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she was on one of them. I remember. Okay. I think except for Frank Welker, everybody did. All right.
Oof.
So yeah. All right.
He can afford to live forever.
Apparently so, man. Jeez Louise.
Botox is an incredible
All right.
drug.
So yeah, so those are your voice actors for this particular show that only lasted 13 episodes. We're going to get to a version of a watch along here. Hopefully it doesn't get YouTube yanked. But
Of course
before
it will.
all of that, well, I don't know. It's very rare or weird when which ones get yanked and which ones don't. But before we get to that, we gotta play everybody's favorite game, y'all. You know what game I'm talking about.
I know what game you're talking about.
MAGA, not MAGA, y'all. The Fantastic Four edition. All right. So we're gonna leave up the main characters as we go through this. So we'll get to them momentarily. But we need to go through some secondary characters before we get to this, and I don't have slides for them, so I'm just gonna go by name. We ain't gotta go to them because they're vast universe of characters or whatever, and even getting to the villains or whatnot if they could still vote if they didn't lose their rights. But all right.
They did.
All right. So, all right, Alicia Masters, y'all. MAGA, not MAGA.
Not MAGA?
Yeah, I'm going with not MAGA. She's
Okay.
a
Artist.
granola lover.
Artist, granola, New York City. Okay, yeah. Definitely
Right,
not the Kerry
right.
Washington version. Just saying. All right, okay, Alicia Masters. Okay, not MAGA. Okay. Dr. Doom.
MAGA.
We can get. I was gonna get to it, Mr. Fantastic.
I have a rebuttal about Doom being MAGA. Okay. Doom, despot that he is, would recognize another despot,
Right?
right? But he ain't gonna be caring about America, so he's going to make Latveria great again. So he's I don't know
It's
whatever
Mulva.
word. He's
Mulga.
Mulva.
No, but he would support
would-
MAGA because it would validate his own MAGA-like regime in Liberia.
You can make he's Putin.
Mm. Yeah, so he's in MAGA support just from a distance.
MAGA adjacent.
Right. He's fixing elections.
Noted. Okay. Former Fantastic Four member, She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, MAGA, not MAGA.
Not
She's
MAGA.
part of the Green Party.
Yeah, not MAGA.
Not MAGA. Oh, let me write that down.
You're
Yeah,
just
she
stalling for
yeah,
the declaration of Reed Richards. You're just stalling.
No. I am not stalling at all. All right, so let's get to the main group here. Then, all right. No, Franklin, he can't vote yet.
What about Jason Proudfoot or wherever or
Man,
Wyatt Proudfoot?
Wyatt Wingfoot.
Wyatt, yeah, him.
I don't know. Again, their group is too
He's
wide.
MAGA.
He's
Like
MAGA.
that's
Not
his.
MAGA.
Yeah.
He's an
That's his-
engine.
Yeah.
No, that's their Native American friend that they roll out as
Yes.
to show that they're not
Yes.
MAGA.
And he's
They
also
can't
the
be
one.
MAGA.
Yes,
right.
he's also white passing as well. It's MAGA as hell. All right, here we go, y'all. Johnny Storm, y'all. Johnny Storm, noted playboy, turned himself to fire, horn dog, dickhead Donnie Storm, as we have affectionately nicknamed him on these various podcasts. MAGA, not MAGA.
I think this is another case where he definitely voted in 2016 along MAGA lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give him credit because him and Sue did back out of the Civil War. I'd like to say 2020 he voted against, but he has cast more than one vote along MAGA lines.
Yeah.
I don't think he was there on January 6th.
From that's good to know. Hodge, Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm, I think he's blue, like the uniform.
Okay.
And that's
Rebuttal.
not MAGA.
Rebuttal. Johnny Storm. Entitled white man.
Yep.
Very much so on the lines of he could be Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro. Like at a point, like he was probably not MAGA. But then as he started to get, like, hey, he should have been Me Too for messing with Zazie on Secret Wars. Like, I think Johnny's probably MAGA. Probably.
I think he leans more toward Bill Clinton and getting
horn dog
and fucking over voting.
I think it's a reasonable argument that he's MAGA. That's why I kind of was on the fence. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
like he would have been like, as soon as he got charges, he would have been like, these other people got charged and they just said it wasn't them, so I'm with them.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Russell Brand. Yeah, MAGA as fuck. Johnny MAGA as hell. Let's go to his sister, Sue Richards. MAGA, not MAGA?
Not MAGA.
Not MAGA. Hodge?
Not MAGA.
Not MAGA.
Rebuttal. Remember, 53% of white women voted for Trump.
I hear you. I hear you. And she could definitely she definitely did not vote for Trump in 2020. She definitely was not there on January 6th.
That's fair.
But I don't think she voted for him at all. She's like, Reed Richards might be the most educated person in the Fantastic Four, but she's probably the smartest person in the Fantastic Four.
That's fair. Yes. Book smart. Yeah. Okay. Ben Grimm, y'all. MAGA, not MAGA?
Ben Grimm is as MAGA as they come.
Woo. Brother Beavis.
Well, he left the country in Civil War.
He put a write-in vote for MAGA.
But he's
canonically Jewish.
Yeah, I was going to say he's Jewish. He lives in Brooklyn.
But so is Roseanne Barr.
Fair.
Come on.
Or Roseanne.
I'm saying not MAGA.
I'm going to go with him being not MAGA too. If we're going with the fact that he's married to Alicia Masters, who's probably not MAGA. I mean, again, house divided can happen. That is 100% certain. But
he probably didn't vote. Is probably
that could be closer to it too.
He voted.
Yeah,
he was there on January 6th.
Or he voted for Bernie Sanders.
He
voted for some third party candidate.
Some third party candidate. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's my vote. He's third party.
That's fair.
Here we go, y'all.
Here we go. Reed Richards.
MAGA as fuck.
This is
ultra MAGA.
Say your bit, sir.
Me?
You.
I think man, Reed is MAGA as hell.
This is my person that if anybody on this team is not voting, it's gonna be Reed Richards because he like, first off, I'm above these petty politicians. I'm not, you not, because the side you go with, the other side's gonna send the IRS on you. And when they do get in office, he ain't fucking with that. He like, fuck it, I'm not voting, and I'll play both sides. I got 3 million patents. I got government contracts. I'm trying to take over the fucking world anyway. So why the fuck do I care about these stank ass politicians? I'm smarter than all of them.
Okay, rebuttal. Him and his Illuminati people would definitely want Trump as president. Except for Black Panther. Except for Black. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's much easier to manipulate him than anybody else.
So, wait a minute. You don't think Biden ain't easy to manipulate?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if he voted for MAGA.
I'm talking about. They're all easily manipulated when you give them money or something. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I don't know.
He don't believe in God. Why think he gonna fucking vote?
That's a fair point, because he might not. I don't know. It's just
God. Right. I'm the smartest motherfucker in this room, and Michael Jordan don't probably vote, and I ain't voting either because he fuck with my money.
Michael Jordan catching strays up here. Man, yeah. No, I think Reed. Reed is super MAGA, man. I can't. Yeah, Reed MAGA as hell. There's no chance he
don't
didn't.
give a
All right.
fuck.
So left across on your radio dial. Johnny Storm, I think the consensus is probably MAGA, at least in 2016.
MAGA
Reed Richards.
adjacent at most.
Yeah, Reed
Or at worst.
Richards, MAGA as
MAGA
hell.
fuck.
Sue Richards, probably not MAGA, probably not. We're probably not. And then Thing, not MAGA.
But the third party candidate.
But third,
protests
yeah,
except
not
for
MAGA,
Steve
but
Stone.
threw his vote away. Have a third party candidate. Oh, good times. All right, y'all. We will move on from the Fantastic Four here to another part here. So Sandman did make a contribution to this podcast that he wanted
Shouts
to.
out to you, Sam, man.
Yeah, shouts out Sandman.
I needed somebody to even out this
What did we do?
Seesaw.
Come on, man. Come on. Not us. So he made this contribution that we have to God, if I can find it now. Here we go. If I can find it. So during that Fleer Marvel Ultra card show, there was a moment where there was a moment. Let me make sure we have the sound here. It is okay. There was a moment on that show where there was a party, a wedding party. I think it's for Reed or for Thing and Alicia Masters, where Johnny Storm's gonna rap.
Oh, no.
Now you really have to dig into, because there's been so many versions of it made, to find the original version that is actually happened, because when you see it, you really can't believe that this shit actually happened. So
Why not?
I'm gonna play it for y'all because it's ridiculous. I do believe the rapper is one of the dudes from the Far Side, who were a popular rap group in the 90s, whose name I can't remember at this point in time. But yeah, I'm gonna play it. It should be queued up with no commercial. Hopefully y'all can hear it.
Must we?
Yeah. Y'all can hear this?
Yeah.
I hope you like it. Yeah. They ought to teach this in school. It's not always cool to be cool. What? They try to play you for a fool. Like you see a girl who's unique. It's a treat, cause she's sweet. And she really seems to knock you off your feet. You wanna say hey, but you don't. You don't. Your mom says tell her how you feel, but you won't. Cause you're just too cool to tell her truly. Get your feelings all getting unruly. Don't try to school me.
This was aired on television, y'all.
You're staring at the wall, trying to play while I say that you're cool. What?
Well, this is the first time I heard it, so.
Oh, for real? Oh no, this was a thing on the internet for a long time.
I did not. I saw enough of his live to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do too much research on this bullshit.
Long, but when I know the time is right for me and you, I just flame on, flame on, and on and on and on, flame on, flame on, yeah, flame on, and on and on and on and on, flame on. I just flame on.
It ain't the worst rap I ever heard.
Well, I mean, sorry, hold on. Now can y'all hear me? Probably not.
Yes.
Yes, you can hear me.
Lima
Okay.
Charlie.
What do y'all think there?
It exists.
Hello?
That was
Hold on.
comically bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Dang it. Stop share. All right. Sorry.
Can you hear us? Is the question.
Well, I can't get the freaking YouTube thing off. Hold on.
That's what
Nope,
she
can't
said.
do that either. God dog it. I was doing so good on my technologies.
See, that's what you get for screwing up the MAGA non-MAGA.
Hold on. God dog it.
The Braves
Skip
won.
that.
Amazing.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, you're back.
I think so.
We never
Okay.
left.
Sorry, yeah, they just couldn't get the ad thing to stop. So, what do y'all think, man? Johnny Storm got bars, Hodge?
I wouldn't go buy it, but sure.
That aired on a regular cartoon, y'all. That he had the flame on, Brother Beavis, and on
Yeah,
and on and on.
and he had the flame on and on. You know, at first I was just like, I was just shaking my head, and then as I actually looked at it, and you could see like the storyline being portrayed
Mm-hmm. It's
to go
Frankie.
along with those lyrics. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little pitchy for me, dog. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to say no. Yeah.
Zaccharism.
Okay, so slide 6 also said, "Do the Fantastic Four suck?"
Yeah, they
Okay.
didn't thread that corny versus family needle very well there. That was
So I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're gonna watch like pretty much up to the first commercial break here of the Fantastic Four from 1978. Again, if this gets clipped on YouTube, this will be where your podcast stops on YouTube, or the video part will stop because of whatever issues. If not, on the podcast version, you'll be able to hear it on and on and on, and we'll flame on and on to the break of dawn here. But yeah, we're gonna watch the final victory of the Doctor Doom. It's episode 12, season 1 of only one episode. We'll get through the theme song and whatnot and kind of go through it as we kind of watch this. I have seen, like I said, 13 episodes. I think I've seen 5. They're not great, but it's not as bad as I think we remember because we just were hating on Hervey. Would that be fair, Brother Beavis? I know you've watched more than one.
Well, you know, I think that this era of cartoons seems to have the least reverence for the source material. Like, I don't think they had the book on Magneto when they wrote the Magneto episode. All he did was like, the car that Magneto drives is the drivingest car of Magneto. Like, everything was just like a double speak, just superlative about what he was gonna do. Like, he always just declared everything he was gonna do. And his powers, they didn't really explain them.
Monologuing.
So
yeah, that's fun. All right, let me make sure we're gonna play here that y'all can hear. Look,
That's better than Kid Video, but just barely.
I would say that my graph would say otherwise. Fantastic Four suck, y'all. This is just in a general conclusion. I know that people don't want to accept that as a conclusion, but I think as a general rule at this point, they're going to need an MCU/Disney rescue like they rescued the Avengers to get people to think they're cool. That's it. There's
I
no
wouldn't put the power in Disney to make anything
well,
better.
but
at
you
this
would have
point.
never said that for the Avengers at that time, and they were able to turn that around. I'm not saying that they can or they will, but I think that's probably the only thing that could get them back to the top of the card. They're mid-carders at this point, man. They are toiling in the middle of the card. Like, oh, I recognize them. He's a pretty good wrestler or whatever, and they'll beat somebody every once and then. You might get a run with the TV title, but you're not challenging for the championship at this point. You need to be rescued.
Your Dolph Ziggler?
Well, he got cut, so he has no job now. So that would be
Well,
worse.
they got cut too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So they're gonna need something to bring them back up, and that's the comic isn't gonna do it because people don't read the comic book. The cartoons
people
aren't
are
going to do
burnt out on the movies too. They
but
ain't
the
helping right
cartoons
now.
aren't going to do it. But at least they would. Well, again, oh, they're going to be fresh. They've had at a minimum 3 movies that people maybe saw. I mean, Brother Beavis, do you think that's the case? Is there anything that can save them? Team up with the Incredibles?
I have to think that this is the exact conversation some people had in a room somewhere before they decided to make a movie. Like, this is an obvious flaw in the property, and I have no idea what it's going to take to make them relevant and stand up with the rest of this world. Although I think having them exist and crossing over with elements like using other characters to give them the rub and get them over, and leveraging some of their signature villains.
Right.
You know, I don't know if that'll be a part of it, but I have to believe that somebody has said, like, look, this is potentially not worth trying. Everyone was semi hyped when it came out, but somebody's figured out something worth watching is what I'm willing to take on faith, and then we'll see what it is.
Hutchie, and I'll throw this as the final kind of question for both of y'all, really. But to me, they're on their last strike.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think they get, like, if they put something out that is not well received, they may roll into these whatever the Kang, Secret Wars, Dynasty, or whatever that's going to be. If they're a part of that, they may get into that, but you're not going to see another solo property or anything like, or a movie like that again, unless they have to make one to keep the property or something like that, like they did the last one. But like, I think this is a one-shot situation. Oh, do you agree, Hotch, or no? Like, you can't. You have 5 bad movies. Like, that's a lot.
Marvel and DC are all dropping shit at this point. No matter who the fucking the character is, outside of maybe Spider-Man and Batman. But whatever.
Blue Beetle was good.
What?
Blue Beetle was good.
Oh, Blue Beetle was good, but who saw? But no one watched that shit.
Yeah.
But none of yes, sir. So anyway, fuck. I mean, outside of at this point, if I'm Disney or whatever, I'm like, my brain just said, hell, make Taylor Swift fucking Sue Storm at this point.
Son.
That's the fuck what they need. At this point, they need to pull out some shit that, I mean, if they just put out some blonde woman that, I mean, is hot looking, they're fucked. This property is fucked.
It would seem that they missed the opportunity, besides that whatever cameo for Reed and Doctor Strange, that they could have put them in a hot property, to get the rub wrestling term. Fuck Hulk Hogan, by the way. And I think that would have helped propel them into something where there'd have been some anticipation, even if it was just Reed. There was that huge rumor that, Reed's going to be in, what was it, WandaVision, that there was this thought, that he was going to pop up in WandaVision. Didn't happen or whatever. But I think had you given us somebody that, and then you slowly introduce the other characters into this equation, like, I think you probably be some anticipation of this. But what, you're going to give us an origin story for the Fantastic Four at this point? That ain't it, fam. That ain't it. So I'm just curious as to kind of how that turns out.
Can you have like Johnny Storm cameo in a Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, and then that would have been something. Yeah,
have the Thing cameo in an X-Men movie or something, and then introduce the rest of the team or something like that.
Something you would have
start to talk about the Baxter Building and drop hints and.
Or Iron Man and Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, they take the MacGuffin. They get a MacGuffin and they take it to Reed Richards at the end. Blah blah blah.
I mean, you could have introduced him in freaking Endgame or whatever, and had him. Like when they were discussing the plan, like what they were going to do. Well, I got somebody that I know that got snapped back too, and now Reed's in the universe as just a cameo. And then you build from there, and you're really dropping in from scratch at this point. Because I thought they would wind up in Black Panther Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, because the characters are so tied together, it would have made sense there too.
And Namor too, but
that's what I'm saying.
But see, I thought if I was going to do all this stuff. It'd have been at the end game where they're all fighting everybody in Wakanda. Some of them background dudes that you don't see fighting is going to be the Fantastic Four and the X-Men when they finally come through too.
Yeah, that feels like a retcon if you do it now.
But shit, what else they got?
I understand. No, I hear you.
But we know the Avengers never answered the call for the X-Men.
Well, they're on the other side of Wakanda, the west side. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I ain't trying to talk to Cyclops right now. Anyway, all right. So that'll conclude.
Do you need to take that? Oh no,
I'm good. Yeah, it's just I'm gonna let that go to voicemail.
That's Slim. He owed me some money for poker or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll conclude episode 8, y'all. We're trying to get up to 10 here. It's taking a little bit of time from summer, but that's okay. Hutch, we keep saying pick your show. You never pick your show.
And I already picked it, but you
What
missed
did you
it.
pick?
I picked the Marvel series from the 60s.
Which Marvel series?
the
Any
Marvel
of them.
series. Yeah.
Yeah, the Marvel series from the '60s with Captain America, Iron Man, Thor.
This is a true statement.
Is this a
Manny
true
Moore.
statement? I missed it.
Yes.
All right, so we'll come back with Hutch's show here. It will be the
Thanks,
next one
Dad.
here, and then our friend Will Stacks wants to do Thundar the Barbarian, which I'm trying to talk him out of.
That's
Because-
strong. I look forward to that.
Yes,
Because
Thundar.
No, you
might be
don't.
the best shit.
Thundar is not bad. I've watched
Yeah,
that in the last
Thundar,
7 years.
I would.
Yeah.
Thundar was way better than this.
Well, I understand.
Lords of Light,
Oh, geez.
Demon Dogs.
Y'all are funny. All right. So again, you'll be able to find this podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes,
We ride.
not Stitcher, Good Pods, Google Play, all of those things. Just search Brother Comic. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. That's it, man. Excelsior, Fantastic Four. Good luck, man. Y'all need it for sure. Everywhere,
We all
comics,
need it.
movies, cartoons, Johnny's Rap. All of it you particularly need. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna sign off. Brother Beavis, sign off.
There's an update podcast one stock at $1.82 today. Just throwing that out there.
I think that's going up, man. And
Yeah,
Colin Thompson owes you money.
Strong recovery.
Call Stephen P. New.
But yeah, this was fun. See you next time.
All right, Hotch, go ahead and sign off, man.
Yeah,
Don't fall asleep.
yeah. Fantastic Four forever.
Yeah, we'll see everybody on the other side. Peace, everybody. Excelsior.